Guitar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the strings on a steel string acoustic guitar. This one having the pegs here that hold these strings in place. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to use a string winder. If you don't have one of these, it's okay. It just makes the process a little bit easier because one of the things we have to do, of course, is lower the tension on the strings. Unless, of course, you're changing your strings because you've already broken one, in which case they'll already be off the instrument. What I like to do is remove all the strings at the same time. So I loosen them up a little bit, I take the string cutter, and I go through and around the 12th fret or so, cut them off. Right? You should see that in this video angle over here as well. Basically what I'm doing is I'm grabbing it by the 12th fret, snapping those guys off. Yep, don't hold on to it, it might hurt. Let those go. That's why we loosen the tension as well. Woo! Good stuff. Alright. Throw that guy over there. You'll see that these parts over here get a little bit loose by the time you do that, okay? Now, this part right here should help to grab these, and if it doesn't really help you very much, then there's also this part right here where you can just kind of slide that around the pegs, and it'll help to kind of, and I always struggle with this, but that's the idea, right, is it loosens them up to come out. Don't lose these. They can be very difficult to replace. And then the other thing you want to be careful of is your bridge stays, or your saddle stays within the bridge, because this can totally come off and do some damage. Also, that's where the thing that really catches the vibration of the instrument is, so that we can have that played through the electronics if you're using an acoustic electric. Okay, so that's one way to do that, basically. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to lose those. I lost one of those on a stage once, and it was really, really hectic trying to get set up for the show. So enjoy watching me struggle through this for the next few minutes as you can. Of course, you could always fast forward through the video should you find this struggle, you know, not so fun to watch. Okay. We want to make sure we dispose of those properly into the waste bin. That should help to get this part out. There we go. Great. Okay. So I got all 6 of those out. I have them on the side, ready. Make sure this stays in place at its nice angle. Okay, don't lose this. This is not glued in as it should not be glued in, right? Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. You see that I have a hair of mess on the top of the guitar. So we go ahead and unwind those. Put them to the side for proper disposal. Okay. All right. So now the next thing that I like to do is have a rag nearby, have a little bit of lemon oil. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to just put a little bit, like about that much, on there, more like this. We'll use this as an opportunity to really just clean the fretboard. Okay, so go ahead, give that a little bit of a scrub down all the way up. Okay, make sure your nut doesn't fall out over there as well. Okay. Give it a nice little scrub down all the way through. Clean that instrument. Okay. once upon a time when we were sharing instruments, this was super, super important. It's still super important because you never know. So just wipe that down. Again, make sure that stays in place. All right. Hang up the rag, close up the lemon oil bottle. Grab your trusty pack of strings. Okay, open that up. All right. And I like to start with the small string, and I don't even tune it all the way right away. But one of the things I'm going to do first is I'm going to line up the holes from the tuning pegs so that the strings have a straight shot to go through. It's going to just facilitate the process, make it a little bit easier. So let's have those holes into place. Now I can start opening up the pack one at a time. Let me get this back into a shot over here because this is where we're looking. Okay. All right. So this is my first string. I'm using 12 gauges on my steel string. That aside for disposal. These are all the same, so no, it doesn't matter which one. What you want to do is you want to line this part up like this so that it's ready to go in. Okay, you don't have to like do it perfectly or anything like that, but the idea is that as you get that into the hole, the bottom lines up with that part. And as you push the peg down, you pull the string up, and that way you notice that where the winding is, right here, that winding ends up at the top still. Okay? We don't want the string to go in too far because then it might slip. Okay, so as we push this down, we pull the string up. Okay, make sure this stays in position. Then we go to the headstock of the guitar. Now the headstock of the guitar, what I like to do is hold over here by the nut so it stays in position, and what you can do is wrap the string a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times, just to get it nice and ready before putting it through the hole. Okay. It usually works with just the lower strings, and it's kind of important so that it has enough winds when you start tuning it. Then I push down the string and slip the string through the top. That's going to make sure that your guitar stays in tune for as long as possible. Beautiful, right? And then you turn. You want the loop, the string, to be on the inside, so we're turning it so that it tightens with the loop. Now see, you pull it up a little bit, so that way this stays nice and tight, that stays nice and tight. You go ahead and turn it until it's just a little bit tight. And we can stay there. Now, okay, hack, because I'm pushing down over here on the saddle. The pressure is now just on the first string, so the saddle is coming a little bit, uneven. So what I prefer to do is skip straight to the 6th string. Thing. If you can't find the thing, you can use this guy to help. All right. And now you do the same process from the 6th string, and that's going to give the saddle support. Okay, so we open that guy up. Now the 6th string is too big to do the winding thing at the top, but this does the same, right? We push this down while we pull this up, all right? So that way it doesn't pop out. You really want to make sure you push that in. Okay. All right, then, so the other trick that you can do to make sure it gets enough winds is when you put it through, but leave some slack so that the string is about up here, okay? Then fold that string in, get it into the nut there, and hold it down nice and tight, and then I'm not going to turn it with my finger. I'm going to use this guy. This helps facilitate it. Start turning it so that it gets tight. And you'll see that the slack will allow that to turn a few times around the peg. There you go. So we hear a little bit of pop over here on the sound. So we just push that back in, make sure it stays nice and tight. And we don't have to go perfect just yet on that, okay? All right, after that, that should make your saddle nice and solidified, so we don't have to worry about the pressure anymore. Now we can go through all 6 strings comfortably with the 2 different methods of the winding at the top. And so over here, I'm going to use the method. This usually works for at least the first 2 strings based on the size of the gauge. Now what I'm doing here is I'm putting that through the top now. This. I'm going to tighten that up. Okay. Should be able to see that. Tightening up. Pull it a little bit. Okay. Okay. I like to get all the strings on there first. And at this point, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then be done with it. And then when you're done, clip those off on the top, and then tune. But the idea first is to get all the strings on. So I'll stop the video here. I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this. It takes a little bit of time, as you can see.